Welcome back to Scotty's Hobbies. It is crazy that the EPA has allowed California to change their rules once again to make it a little bit harder for you, the consumer, here in California. It's not the biggest deal in the world, not the biggest change in the world, but there is a change that the US EPA has allowed since the Trump administration to get a new rule. It's actually a change to the SIP, the State Implementation Plan, to get a little bit stricter in California. And I'm going to go over that in this video. At the end of the video, I'm going to post the whole portion of the bar advisory meeting where CARB came to the meeting and announced this new rule going into effect and everything. It's a little bit long, so I'm going to post it at the end of this video. Stay tuned if you want to watch all that. And there's some actually crazy commentary on that. It's kind of funny. I'll post some videos on that highlighting it coming up. So we're not having a ton of long videos. Now, before we go too far, please hit that like button, subscribe, check out the video library for a ton of automotive helpful DIY videos and emissions deregulations videos. Now, let's get into this. All right, we're going to start with a little bit of backstory. Now, AB 1274 was passed by the California legislation in 2017. And why is that important, you might ask? Well, that bill allowed the Bureau of Automotive Repair and the DMV to change the required age of a vehicle that needs a smog to 8 years old. So as it is right now, if your vehicle is 8 years old, that's when it gets its first smog. If it's 6 years old, you're exempt. If it's 5 years old, 4 years old, you're exempt. But in AB 1274, there was a couple caveats, contingencies. What was the other word they used? I forget. But in that bill, it said, if the Federal EPA says a portion of California or all of California is not meeting the air standards that were set with the Clean Air Act that the Federal EPA set, well, California needs to come up with a better plan or an idea of how to get the emissions down to where it's attainable or where the Federal EPA says it's acceptable. Now, here's where it gets a little bit harder for everybody. In the San Joaquin Valley here in California, this air, our peasant air, just kidding, is non-attainable. It's not within the limits of the federal requirements. So the Federal EPA, I believe it was the beginning of last year, maybe 2024, now we're in 2026, said, hey, the San Joaquin Valley is not meeting the air requirements. The bar, California, CARB tried to come up with something. I don't know if they really tried, but they were given a warning from the Federal EPA saying you guys need to get this cleaned up. It didn't happen. So with that AB 1274, one of the contingencies in there was if the area of California where the Federal EPA says is not meeting the clean air or it's not meeting the standards, they can roll back the 8-year exempt rule to 7 years. And if you don't meet the standards again, it's going to roll back to 6 years. And I believe it stops at 6 years. But as it is right now, the San Joaquin Valley in California has not met those standards, has been warned by the EPA, and the state of California has told the EPA that they would like to start smogging vehicles 7 years and older rather than 8 years and older in the state of California when it comes to the San Joaquin Valley. And the Federal EPA said, go ahead, do it. Let's see what we can do to get this pollution out of here. And like I said, again, while you're watching this, think about, there's some good commentary that people mentioned at the very end of all this. Check it out. And I'm going to post a little bit of shorts to them, a little bit shorter videos for those, because it's pretty darn funny. Now, what I'm getting to here on my phone is, what is the San Joaquin Valley? You would think it's just up here north of the valley, just on the other side of the Bay Area. But no, it's actually huge here in California. And I had too many windows open, so let's get over to this. So according to CARB and BAR, whatever it is, the San Joaquin Valley consists of a huge area of Central California. And we're going to start from the north side. We have San Joaquin County. We have Stanislaus County, Merced County, Madera County, Fresno County, Kings County, Tulare County, and Kern County. But this map is focused, or it's so finely focused down to zip code that not all of Kern County is considered the San Joaquin Valley Air District area. So half of Kern County is not in this rule. So on the, the east side of Kern County is not pertaining to this rule. The west side is. So Kern County, head north, King, Tulare, Fresno, Madera, Merced, Stanislaus, San Joaquin counties. All those counties are going to be going to a 7-year exemption. Now, when this all goes into effect, it's going to start happening on January 1st, 2027, as it sets right now. Do you think this is really going to help? They say in this bar meeting that it was just under 5% of the vehicles that were 7 years old were going to fail smog. So is that 4% failure rate getting those to clean or passing smog? Is that really going to clean up this area? Now, there was a commenter that mentioned there's going to be a loss of revenue. There was a commenter mentioning that all the air in the San Joaquin Valley isn't from San Joaquin, and we're getting punished for it. So really, what is going to happen? Not really what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen, but what is going to be the repercussions from this happening? Is it going to be an actual change in clean air? But you guys let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this is a rule that the EPA should be allowing for California to set their own standards. I thought California was done being given the rights, I guess you could say, from the Federal EPA to change their emissions laws and make them harder. But it looks like it's actually happening. Here we go into the full presentation from CARB at the bar meeting on January 29th. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, share. Here we go. I lied. I was doing the editing and realized if I put the meeting here at the end, it's going to make the video way too long. Go to this link right here, this card, click on that, and that's actually going to be the meeting, the important portion of the meeting that CARB did their presentation at the Bureau of Automotive Repair, our advisory meeting, quarterly meeting that was held on January 29th, 2026. So link in the description, link in one of the first few comments, that card that was up there. That takes you to the important part of the meeting where they're letting you know why the regulations are getting a little bit more strict in California, and just gives you a whole explanation of the SIP plan, the AB 1274. It's all there, even though it's a bunch of BS with what we all found out. It's all going to be there. Go check it out.